What's good, Silver Squad? I'm RJ,
I'm Gerald. G saw that.
and today we're going to be talking about Primate, which is a 2025 horror film directed by Johannes Roberts. It's about a tropical vacation going awry when Ben, a family's adopted chimpanzee, and he's bitten by a rabid animal, and it causes Ben to suddenly become violent. Man, to this one, Gerald, like, bro, y'all know I'm scary as it is. Like everything scares me, but chimpanzees really scare me. I left this movie with two of my friends, and when I was telling them after I walked out the theater, man, like my hands were shaking, my heart rate was elevated. Like I enjoyed it, but I hated this movie for personal reasons. I was not feeling it. I was terrified.
Man, I was excited, bro. I had to go lie. So it's funny enough. Um, People I think are gonna misconstrue my rating because they're gonna assume that I'm
Yeah,
saying it's the best movie I've seen. No, not the case. It's just the fact that I haven't felt this
yeah,
exhilarated watching film since I was a kid. To be honest with you, my heart rate was at 98, like the whole movie.
okay,
So I looked at I was like, I
yeah,
looked at my watch. I was like, seriously? Like, but I felt it though. I literally felt it. Like I didn't feel like I was having a heart attack or about to
yeah,
die, but it was tense. The whole movie, it was
yeah.
tense.
I think that's a good way to put this movie. It was a very intense experience. I think that I'll say this to anybody who's watching. Going into this movie, it is exactly what you are expecting it to be. It is very like predictable. It's very, run of the mill, but it's still a good time. Um, I think that the tension that was built before, after, in between the kills was good. I think that they set up Ben as a credible threat. Like if you're not familiar with chimpanzee attacks, go on TikTok and type in chimpanzee attack and listen to the stories that people tell about how strong these creatures are. Like Ben was a menace. And y'all know me. I said I could be Predator. I said I could be Ghostface. I said I could be Michael Myers. I said I could be Jason. Jay will tell you, I'm not scared of nobody. But Ben, I would have lost. I would have lost, man.
So
I'm
so regular
confident. I said it with confidence that I can beat Predator. I know I could beat Predator, but like Ben, I couldn't beat Ben.
so regular Ben is very docile. He's smart. He can do his little tapping on his little iPad and all that, and communicate with his human counterparts or whatever. Um, but Bad Ben, 100%
Bro,
nightmare fuel. Bro was
yes,
menace is like that's
that's an
being nice.
understatement. Yeah,
Bro was nightmare fuel, man. Like I was like, listen, first off, there's no redeeming this animal
that's it.
where the state he was in. So
No,
for me, I watched it and was like, man, like they're doing an excellent job of making this animal look like it can't be stopped.
yeah,
You know, when I was looking at the premise and all that stuff, I feel like the marketing they were a little tricky with the marketing the way they did it. But
yeah,
I thought they were slick in how they delivered um, because the opening scene you don't find out until midway through the movie that
yeah.
that's actually what happened later.
Later on,
So that
yeah,
was pretty slick. I was like, because I spent about 15 to 20 minutes trying to figure. I was like, well, what is that?
yeah,
If
yeah,
we got Ben here, who is that? How'd that monkey
yeah,
get or how'd that chimp get there?
yeah.
So once I saw that happen, I said, okay, that was slick. That was slick how they did that.
But it was also really smart to put that in the beginning of the movie, because if I'm the one critique I have about it is it kind of took too long for everything to get started. I get they were trying to build up the friendships and the partying and building these people just to be young, adventurous people. We spent a lot of time on that, and then stuff started to pop off. So I felt like that was a smart move by putting that in there,
Mhm.
to kind of get people to understand what kind of movie this was going to be. I Oh, yeah. And one thing too, I'll say about what I liked about Ben, and maybe just because he's a chimpanzee and they're really smart, he was smart. I think
Yeah,
that was probably like his advantage, to how he kind of like outsmarted a lot of the humans. Even the portion where he was like, um, where they were in the pool and he climbed the little wire on top of that and grabbed the girl by the hair and like
Yeah.
pulled her hair out. Like Ben's intelligence was probably equally as scary as his physical strength.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
They did a great job. One, I think with the like the director, I think what they did was they did a great job with the lighting too, because it
Yes.
created way
Yes.
more suspense in the they
Excuse me.
created way more suspense in each scene, because there were some scenes where I was literally darting around the screen trying to figure out where he was,
Where he
and
was.
that made me feel like they did it. It was neat the way they did it, because they didn't force your perspective every single time to like first person. They
Yeah.
treated it like you were watching something happen, but you're
Hmm.
trying to figure out, okay, where's the danger coming from, but you didn't feel like you were the character per se.
Yeah.
um and even when they did it with when those dudes got to the house, that was the coolest one, where the dude walks away from the glass and then Ben is
Hmm.
like right there. So I thought that was slick. And then, of course, they had to give you some tidbits to kind of help you understand that we know that these characters know about about this animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
To know he couldn't swim, to understand like, okay, we still got to get out of here. We still got to figure this out. I love how they did tourniquet the girl's leg, because I
Yeah.
was surely
Smart.
thinking this little girl's gonna bleed out. What are y'all
I
doing?
thought that too until they tied it.
Uh,
Yeah.
but it got real when Ben bit her, because she was probably the closest thing to him, because
Yeah.
this older sister, remember,
He
she
dipped.
was visiting,
Yeah.
So I thought that was
And,
kind of neat.
and I like that as well as like, okay, so yeah, Ben was smart, but I think what you said was good. I feel like they all figured out very early on that Ben wasn't the one to play with, so they had to kind of figure out how to survive this smart animal. It wasn't like a rabbit, like not a rabbit. It wasn't like a regular tiger or a bear attack. This was a smart chimp that was basically essentially
Hmm.
hunting them, and even another thing I enjoyed too was like the fact that she was even bit puts a time limit on this stuff, you know?
Hmm.
So yeah, they don't have time to waste because now she's bitten infected with rabies.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I would have the only thing that kind of irritated me, I don't say irritated, but I wish they would have done differently was I feel like they should have one of the daughters should have died. Because it made me kind of like sad that yeah, this is your your chimp, and now all your friends are dead, but you straight. You know, y'all lived through, y'all survived. I feel like
Right.
at least one, if not one of the daughters, one of the friends should have made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the
I
one
thought
girl
that was,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, especially being it's a one-off film.
yeah,
Like if there's the dad and I feel like Lucy maybe could have sacrificed herself in
yeah,
a sense.
yeah,
Maybe now I did think about that a little bit later and said, well, they probably weren't going to do they weren't going to do two fall deaths, you know,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
same film, because that's honestly that would have probably been to me that might have been a better ending,
yeah.
is if she would have took him over with her. Um, but I I was very surprised at some of the ways that they just didn't really try to think much through when it came
Mhm.
to I mean, I was like, somebody got to be watching him at all times.
Okay,
Like,
so
how
yeah,
y'all
I'm
fall
not
asleep?
bugging. Yeah. So we would have to take turns watching it because
Right.
I was scared they was gonna drift to the edge and Ben was gonna get somebody, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
I think that they were so scared that they just weren't thinking. Because even the first kill with the dude who swam to the ledge to push Ben over.
Hmm.
Now, what bothered me was like y'all live with this chimp, you know all about chimpanzees. Your mom has taught you all about chimpanzees.
Right.
You know their strength. There was no way that man was gonna push Ben over the edge. What should have happened was somebody should have got out the pool while he was on that edge, ran and got something, got back in
Hmm.
the pool, waited for him to go on that edge, and then pushed him over with whatever tool you had. I
Right.
just it's something that and I get it, it's horror, it's movies, so you know you have to kind of suspend your disbelief. But I feel like what would have made this movie better is if the people fighting Ben or trying to survive would have been a little smarter. Um, one the probably the most enjoyable part about this film though were the kills and the gore and the practical effects that I am not used to.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they did really good in that. I think they did really well with that piece. Also, how they were able to execute everything,
Yeah,
because a lot of times when you see that, when they get too, like, I'll be honest, at the end when when he ripped my man's jaw off, that got a little weird because
yeah,
the
yeah,
skin didn't look as natural. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
I haven't seen anybody's face get ripped off in
Sure,
real life,
yeah,
but I was like, I would think the skin would stretch like this way
yeah,
and not this way, because it was weird how it was tearing as if it was tearing from here.
yeah,
But I'm thinking if he's pulling there, it should still go vertical as he's pulling.
yeah,
But that's just
yeah.
my thought. Okay, I'm not a
Yeah.
pathologist. I don't know.
I think they were
Um,
going for gore over like realism, and I
uh
think
huh.
it just looked better. I think it was more of an aesthetic choice to have the prosthetics pull that way.
Okay.
Because for me, I think that was a little more scary than like it ripping vertically.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that choice. Um, I'm glad the black guy, although he died, we didn't get to see him
He pretty
become
much died
Trey.
off screen. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
which I'm
funny.
fine with.
That was
Yeah,
that's actually was a talking point that I had with my son. He didn't quite get it. I was like, well, I said, you got to remember, traditionally in most horror movies, black people die first,
yeah,
and so, or they died the most brutal, and so for him to die kind of technically off screen, the only thing you see is his feet kind of bouncing every time he got hit.
yeah,
And he was one of the only ones to actually grab a weapon, because everybody else
yeah,
was trying to go
yeah,
mano y mano for some dumb reason.
yeah,
Um, so I was happy about that. I'll be honest though, I think the most jarring death to me was when uh dude hit the ground
yeah,
when he pulled him
yeah.
over. That was the most jarring.
Yeah.
But probably the most intense scene was when the girls were in the closet.
Yeah, that's where my heart started racing. I was like, "Oh my god, they've been about to tear them up."
Yeah. I was I was like, the whole time I'm sitting there like, does he not see him? But of course, he was behind the deal. He didn't think he wasn't reaching. You know, and they did a good job. I think they did a pretty good job of staying
Yeah,
quiet. You know,
yeah.
but it did not fare well for anybody that he was able to get his hands on. Um, like
He
he was
beat
equal
everybody to death.
opportunity. Right, he was
Yeah,
equal opportunity when it came to the brutality of the murders. Because when he
he didn't
clubbed
care.
old girl on them stairs with that rock, I was like,
Yep.
God,
The car scene was a mess.
yeah. I was like, he
Yeah,
was like, anybody can get it. I'm
yeah,
I'm just right now. I was like, wow. Um, I think the other piece that I was very impressed by was when the dad finally did come home. It reminded me of that film Hush, where the lady
okay.
was deaf, and so
Yeah,
he couldn't hear anything, and all this stuff is happening, and he's turning around, snacking on pizza, daughter getting dragged down the hall,
yeah.
you know. So, and
That
then he
was
turns
good though.
around and nobody was there.
That
Yeah, that was
I think I was like when that happened in my brain, I'm like, you don't hear that, and I'm like, I forgot he was deaf.
okay.
And so, and a little secret, y'all know I'm terrified. And I told you about like my headphones. Like if you can't hear it, you're not scared. And so I put my headphones on, but I'm like, yo, you don't hear that? And then it didn't dawn on me that he
Okay.
was deaf. And so like I didn't realize that there was no, because if you notice, they took all the sound away to
Right.
kind of do the false
Soon
point
as
of
he
view.
soon as
Yeah,
he closed the door,
the
when he got
sound.
in, because you could hear his car, you could hear his footsteps, and
Yeah,
he opened the door, and as soon as he closed the door, it just went silent.
finally. And
And
so when I
that,
took my earbud out, that's when I realized I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot he's deaf. Yeah,
yeah, I was very impressed
yeah,
by the way they were able to use the environment as a way
yeah,
to, like, show you that, hey, everybody's still in trouble.
yeah,
It's just a matter of how it's going to happen. Is he going to attack the dad because the dad doesn't hear him, or is the
yeah.
dad going to just walk up on it? How's that going to play? I was very interested to see how that was going to play, because um, I think that the fight with the dad was probably the least realistic to me,
Yeah,
because they were punching each other like people. We'll
Yeah,
punch each other.
that I was like, "No, sir. Like, come on, man. Like, so you mean to tell me Ben knocked everybody else out,
They
but like
fighting.
you can take a hit from a chimp?"
Yeah, he punched him like he would try to punch a kangaroo or something. I was like, okay, okay. I was still fine with it because I just felt like it was so many other crazy things happening.
Yeah.
I was like, this may as well happen. I mean,
At
I
that
was fine
point.
with it. Yeah,
At that point, yeah.
yeah. But
I
I mean,
enjoy it.
decision. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely enjoyable. Like I said, I don't want people to think that I really put that in the category of like a outstanding film more
Yeah,
than I
yeah, yeah.
thought it was a great fun watch.
Yeah.
It was a very fun watch, and that's what I like from an entertainment standpoint. You strip all the technical aspects out of it from a just entertainment
Pure
standpoint.
entertainment.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. I had a blast with it, So
And I
I
think
don't
that's
want,
a good way to put it from an entertainment standpoint. It is a blast. It's the
yeah,
kind of movie that you kind of just sit around with your friends and just
right,
like yo, and you kind of watch the kills. Like I think and I said this before, I think we expect everything to be this like theatrical feat, and some stuff is just enjoyable. And I feel like if
agreed.
you go into this movie knowing that it's a chimp attack movie and just kind of take it for what it is, you'll have a good time. It's not anything that's gonna change the way we look at horror and
No,
through a different lens, but it is simply just a good time, and it's a movie that suspend your disbelief and just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. I
yeah,
enjoyed it. If I had to rate Primate just for what it is now, like Gerald said, taking away any kind of technical feats and cinematography, whatever, taking away all of that just based off the movie alone, I give it a solid 8.
yeah. I can go to 8. I mean, like I said 11 out of 10 because I just the excitement of seeing
Yeah,
it right then and there. I literally sent y'all that message while I was in the
yeah,
theater still. I hadn't even written anything down in my notepad, but yeah, 8.5 because of the entertainment value. Rewatchability, I think is still there.
yeah.
Because there's still some pieces I think that you would find that you would miss because
Excuse me.
especially if you're a person like this guy
Yeah.
that be like, I don't know. My eyes were closed. I don't know. I didn't. So I don't even remember that part. I
Yeah,
didn't see that. Did that happen?
yeah. Now
But
I did close my eyes on. I know the stair kill. I knew he had the rock, but I closed my eyes like
yeah,
when he raised it. So I know she got bashed to death. I just didn't see the gore of it all. So
I
yeah.
saw the gore of it, and it was not nice.
Oh yeah,
Bro
yeah,
was
yeah.
yeah, it was not
I knew
nice.
it was bad. I knew it was
I
gonna
was
be
like,
bad.
golly, bro. Like that's right there. Let you know though. Like that's the difference. Like my son, he said he was a little bothered because he felt like they were trying to make him look evil. And I said, yes and no. I said, I get what you're saying. I said, but the
Yeah,
reality is, as an animal that had rabies, he was out of control,
yeah,
but he was still inherently smart because of the training and all that. So he could have that unpredictability in that, like how he tricked Lucy into sticking her hand out and he broke her he broke her fingers.
bro. That listen, and my dumb ass, like I knew something was coming,
Right.
but I didn't know what was happening. And like when as soon as he like broke it, I was like
Yeah.
I hate bone breaks. I hate
Yeah.
bone breaks so much, and I don't know why I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Like
That was slick. That was very slick. So, I mean, so for what it's worth, hey, I would it's a definitely recommend to check out if someone is wanting to just see something with some crazy kills, even
yeah,
if it didn't completely make sense to you.
yeah,
I feel like they did give enough backstory to make it look
yeah,
plausible,
yeah. It was
Um,
a good time overall.
mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. It's in theaters now. It is a fun time. It's a great, and honestly, this is the kind of movie you got to watch with people too. Like you got to have
Agreed.
reactions,
Agreed.
and don't go into the theater not shutting up, But
Right.
it's fun to go with people and kind of react together and just kind of enjoy the movie. So I say go see it, or if
Mhm.
you want to wait for it to come on streaming, that's fine too. But watch it with a group of people because that'll help you enjoy it a little more.
Yeah.
But
R
yeah,
R for gore.
gore,
R for gore
gore,
and
practical effects.
body
Yeah,
horror. It was
this
rough.
is right up your alley. Yeah. So, but yeah, those are our thoughts on Primate 2025. It is now in theaters, and make sure you check it out. Make sure you like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Later days.